17,000. That's not a typo. 17,000 commercial driver's licenses illegally issued in California just got revoked. And if you think that number is shocking, wait until you hear how we got here. On November 12th, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the trucking industry and ignited a firestorm in American politics. The California Department of Motor Vehicles finally admitted what critics have been screaming about for months. They've been handing out commercial driver's licenses to foreign drivers who had no legal right to be behind the wheel of an 80,000-pound truck on American highways. More than 1 in 4 licenses they reviewed failed to meet federal requirements. Let that sink in. 25% failure rate. That's not bureaucratic incompetence. That's systemic negligence. But here's what it gets really interesting. California didn't just wake up one morning and decided to confess. They were caught, red-handed. After weeks of denying everything, after Governor Gavin Newsom's office repeatedly claimed they did nothing wrong, a federal audit by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration exposed what can only be described as a nightmare scenario hiding in plain sight. Licenses were extended well beyond work permits. Some drivers got their commercial licenses without any validation of their legal presence in the United States. Zero documentation. Zero verification. Just, here's your license. Good luck. Hope you don't kill anyone. And people did die. 3 innocent Americans to be exact. August 12th, Florida Turnpike. An illegal immigrant truck driver named Harjinder Singh attempted an illegal U-turn through an official use-only access point. His trailer jackknifed across all northbound lanes. A minivan had no time to react. 3 people dead instantly. 3 families shattered because California decided that political ideology was more important than public safety. Now, California wants you to believe this is about compassion, about giving opportunities to asylum seekers and refugees, about making roads safer by ensuring everyone has a license. That's the talking point. That's what Newsom's office keeps repeating like a broken record. But let's talk about what actually happened here. Singh entered the United States illegally in 2018. The Trump administration denied his work authorization in September 2020. But under the Biden administration, he got reissued an employment authorization in April 2025. California gave him a commercial driver's license in July 2024. Washington State gave him 1 year before that. 2 states, 2 licenses, 1 illegal immigrant, 3 dead Americans. And here's the part that should make your blood boil. California knew. They had to know. When you issue a commercial license that extends beyond someone's work permit, that's not a clerical error. That's a policy decision. When more than 1 in 4 licenses in your audit sample fail federal compliance, that's not an oversight. That's a pattern. A deliberate, calculated pattern of putting politics over people. Secretary Duffy did not mince words. He said California was caught red-handed. He called it the tip of the iceberg. He threatened to pull $160 million in federal funding if they don't revoke every single illegal license. And you know what California's response was? They claimed their commercial driver crash rate is 40% lower than the national average. As if statistics can somehow resurrect 3 people who died on the Florida Turnpike because a driver who shouldn't have been there made a catastrophically stupid decision. Excuse me, but this is not just about California. This is about nationwide pattern of sanctuary jurisdictions treating federal immigration law like a suggestion rather than a mandate. The audit found similar problems in 5 other states. California just happened to be the worst offender, which is why they got hit first. But make no mistake, this is happening across the country. Truck drivers who can't read English road signs, drivers whose legal status expired months or years ago, drivers with work authorizations that don't match their license expiration dates, all operating massive commercial vehicles on highways where you and your family drive every single day. And here's truly insane part. The California Highway Patrol publicly stated in July that they had no intention of following federal English language proficiency requirements for commercial drivers. No intention. They said the quiet part out loud. They basically told the federal government to go pound sand. And when 3 people died because of policies like this, Newsom had the audacity to defend issuing licenses to illegal immigrants by claiming it improves public safety. I'm not making this up. That was the official response. 3 people are dead, and the governor of California is still defending the policy that enabled their deaths. Now let's talk about what this means for the trucking industry. 17,000 licenses getting revoked. 60 days notice. Those are thousands of trucks that are about to come off the road. In an industry already dealing with capacity issues, driver shortages, and razor-thin margins, this is going to send shockwaves through the supply chain. And you know who's going to pay for it? You are. Every single consumer in America. Because when capacity drops, rates go up. When rates go up, shipping costs increase. When shipping costs increase, those costs get passed directly to you at the grocery store, at the gas pump, everywhere. But here's what nobody's talking about. How many more of these licenses are out there? Duffy called this the tip of the iceberg. If California had 17,000 illegal licenses, and they're just one of 6 states under investigation, how many total licenses are we talking about nationwide? 50,000? 100,000? More? The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is requiring California to provide a full audit of all its non-domiciled commercial licenses. Every single one. And they're going to verify that every legally issued license gets revoked. This is what happens when ideology trumps accountability. When virtue signaling becomes more important than verifying that the person behind the wheel of a 40-ton truck actually has the legal right to be there. When sanctuary state policies create a lawless frontier where federal regulations become optional and American citizens pay the price with their lives. The trucking industry is supposed to be one of the most regulated industries in America. Hours of service regulations, drug testing, medical certifications, electronic logging devices. The federal government monitors everything. Except apparently they weren't monitoring who was actually getting licensed in the first place. States were issuing commercial licenses like candy on Halloween, and nobody was checking if the recipients were even legally allowed to work in the United States. And let's be clear about something. This isn't about immigration. This is about accountability. There are legal pathways to obtain work authorization and commercial licenses in this country. The people who follow those pathways, who go through the proper channels, who do everything by the book, they're not the problem. The problem is a state government that decided federal law didn't apply to them. They decided they knew better than the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration about who should be operating commercial vehicles. So what happens now? Those 17,000 drivers have 60 days. After that, their licenses expire. They can't legally operate a commercial vehicle. If they get caught driving anyway, they're looking at a serious federal charges. Out of service violations, operating without a valid license, the carriers who employ them are going to face massive liability issues. Insurance companies are going to have a field day with this. And the lawyers? Oh, the lawyers are salivating. But the real question is, how did we get here? How did we reach a point where a state government was issuing thousands of illegal commercial licenses and nobody caught it until people died? The answer is simple. Nobody was looking. The federal government assumed states were following the rules. States like California were more concerned with political optics than public safety. And the result is 3 dead Americans and 17,000 illegal licenses that never should have existed in the first place. This is your wake-up call. This is what happens when sanctuary policies meet reality. When political correctness collides with an 80,000-pound truck on the highway. When governors prioritize protecting illegal immigrants over protecting their own citizens. 3 people are dead, 17,000 illegal licenses are being revoked, and Secretary Duffy says this is just the beginning. So buckle up, because this story is far from over. The audit continues, more states are under investigation, and the question everyone should be asking is, how many more illegal licenses are out there? And how many more people have to die before every state starts following federal law? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. Your support lets me keep bringing you more content just like this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.